The only thing that you actually need is from the visitor is the the parser based visitor. That's it. This other stuff is implementation details for me, like the expression and the imports, the stuff I've done, and creating these get info. That's just so like you can call the get line and get offset stuff. It's just they all satisfy that interface. That's just convenient stuff. But the only thing you need to implement, forget about all the stuff and the line numbers and what I've done. All you need to do is create a visitor, embed the parser as it is, not a pointer, just like that. Implement any visit methods you need, and then when you want to run the visitor, you just create use new visitor dot whatever the fuck, and that's the wrong one. So that's the embed that parser that base visitor. That's it, and implement your methods on it, and point your receiver methods. And then basically you create your tree. The only thing that's relevant then outside of ANTLR or ANTLR is to create a new visitor, create the program, visit the tree, passing in the visitor. I have a little helper method here, which basically only just calls v.visit tree. You cannot. There's the various ways you can do it. You can just do v.accept or visit program, or there's another thing called visit program. You'll see. I don't think you actually needed it because I think it just called this anyway. Okay. Basically, it's a fucking like there's certain bits in Java that maybe were needed and maybe weren't even needed in that. But like this basically visits the tree. This gets the visit going, and by what you parse in by calling program is the part of the tree you want to start at. Okay. But just for all intents and purposes, just use program because it's source. It goes program source elements. You can visit like a statement, but it'll only visit one. So like obviously, like I said, if you had a little bit of an expression you wanted to parse out, you pass in with a single expression and you want to manipulate something or two expressions, yes, you can start there and just pull out one thing. But if you want to visit the tree, just do dot program. And that's like we're starting at the top of the tree or else dot source elements. That'll call accept and that'll kick it all off. That's it really.
Great.
So yeah, like I said, all you need is to embed that the base, parser.base, because that implements everything you need to do to keep everything sweet. That's all that's relevant. Create a visitor, embed this, implement your visit methods, and then create a new pointer receiver, and then just call visit, passing in that in the visit method, and that's it. You're good to go. But other than that, everything else I've done there is just fucking around with it for my own sake. There's nothing you need to do. Like even this is you don't even need the visit. Like you're calling v.visit. So
yeah,
I did this for different reasons because I can manipulate. Yeah, v.new visitor, you just assign that because then basically everything that happens gets put on whatever you decide to. The easiest way for me is to add fields on your visitor and store whatever nodes you need to store there. And then once you visit the tree, all that will be added to your visitor. This is the same thing as the visit method there. It's v.visit tree.
Yeah.
Like you even forget about that visit method. That's just I was doing different things, but yeah, this is it. New visitor, visit tree, passing in. Like that expression statement. That's an example of starting from a different base because I have an expression here, so I can do v.expression statement, and I know the first node then is an expression sequence, and then I can just get the children and do whatever the fuck I want to do with it. That's it. So that's like the code red thing. I could pass in one little bit, I can manipulate them one little bit, I can change left to right, whatever I wanted to do, and then just print it out with that code. So yeah. So that's the only time you'd ever really call this is if you're specifically want one little bit of the tree, but generally you're going to want to visit the whole tree. But it is possible. It's like anything you see. Like it'll be visit expression statement or visit whatever. Anytime you see a visit method, remove the visit, and basically you can call that, and that's the start where you're going to start parsing the tree at.
Okay.
So that's the only other thing. Yeah. Basically, new visitor, visit the tree, and generally just use p.program. That's the top node all the way down.
Great.
So that's all you need is this little bit and the visitor embedding the thing, and that's it. There's nothing else you need. Pass in the source to the input stream, do all these little bits here. That should be p.program. Create your new visitor, visit the tree, do whatever the fuck you want to do after with whatever you've done to the tree in the visit methods. Okay. To the visitor, and that's it. So that's all you actually need.
Awesome.
Parser, that base, and this, and that's it. Forget about everything else. It's just noise in my own implementation details.
Sure. Well, yeah, it's helpful, but yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah. So that's it. So yeah, that's good. So hopefully, you have a bit of fun with it. But yeah, it is. I think you'll have fun, and you'll see how easy it is to. It's surprisingly easy to do stuff with it. Like I said, there will be bugs without a doubt, but I think we're well there to getting what we need out of this anyway. So
That's awesome.
Yeah, and lots of other people have used it. I've seen people like with other languages, like creating transpilers, even with TypeScript. Apparently, there's a good TypeScript support as well.
Yeah.
There's a grammar file for TypeScript that's supposed to be pretty good. So yeah,
That's
lots of people
awesome.
have been transpiling JavaScript and stuff with ANTLR. So like this, obviously the runtime is slightly different, but in essence it's the same. Like it's the logic is in ANTLR itself, so that does the hard work. The runtime just does little bits and pieces. But yeah, so I think it does what it says in the tin. It definitely works. So
Nice.
should have fun with it.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. I'm excited.